This is a review of a game that I played a couple days ago, and I want to look at it because I make a couple mistakes, and then I recover in the end game. And so the two big takeaways from this are going to be watching out for the mistakes that I make and getting into that end game, some tricks to using your king, which allowed me to recover from some of the missed opportunities that I had. And so I'm playing the white pieces, and I love this Ruy Lopez. And even though here I make a terrible mistake, I should have took this e-pawn, and I don't know why I did this. Computer says it was wrong, so I'm always afraid of not being able to castle, and that's something I need to get over because this opens up the D file opens up, and there's a queen exchange. The queens are now off the board. Towards the end game, you want your king towards the center of the board and working, which we're going to see the importance of that here in just a minute. But obviously I had a splatter ass moment, made another blunder. Don't worry, it gets worse than that, folks. I'm going to show you a real bad missed opportunity that I have happen, and that's right here. The knight stepped in front of the king, and I totally should have put a pin on that. Basically, I would have got a free knight because I would take the knight, that's check, the queen retakes, then I take the queen, and so I'd be up a piece, and I totally missed that opportunity right there. And so let's go on. Now I'm down a pawn. However, my opponent has two double stacked pawns. So I feel like I have a slight advantage. The computer says otherwise. The computer knows better than I do. But now I'm pinned, as you can see, with this bishop. My bishop is pinned. So I get out of that pin. I want to take this bishop, but my opponent's like, yeah, I don't think so. So here we go. So now my opponent has the opportunity to straighten out its pawn structure. However, I take the pawn. I was looking to do an exchange there. It didn't quite happen. So I'll take this free pawn. As we get into this end game here, I want to make it as easy as possible. And since I'm starting to get my king towards the center of the board, I feel like now is a good time to just exchange pieces. And I think I can have the advantage in this end game because a lot of times people like to hide the king at the end game, but down in a corner somewhere, they think they're playing it safe. But the king's got to go to work and get out there. And as I promote, I want my king to stay on top of the pawns. Therefore, I'm trying to keep my opponent's king behind their pawns. And that's the second big takeaway I want my audience to have from this video is you see how I'm on top of most of my pawns and my opponent is behind. You want your king out there. And now I'm going to set up a sacrificial pawn, which is this guy. This I would love to promote this to a queen, but what's my opponent, 1390? Yeah, they're not going to let that happen. So I treat it as a sacrificial pawn, as you'll see here in just a moment. So there it goes. My opponent has to retreat. That's a retreating movement, which gives me the advantage. However, I make a mistake, and I should be working towards the center and cutting that king off. And then I should be coming over here and trying to promote this way. However, I do manage to recover, but I make it difficult on myself because of this situation, because now my opponent has two marching pawns, which are difficult to stop and has to be done delicately. So there's a hard pin on the C pawn. And my opponent, I want to get that king away from these pawns so that I can start taking them. My opponent knows that, And my opponent does a fantastic job of trying to stop that from happening. But there it is. So I finally get the king away. So now I can come in with my pawn, or with my king and my queen together. And so now my opponent respectfully resigned because it's their move. And, more than likely they'd move the king to, b5, and which just allows me to take. I would come over here, take with the king. As soon as they promote this pawn, I'm going to take it. So it was a really good ending. See, the openings was about same. Middle game, my opponent played a little better than I did, and then I recovered in the end game. So I was very happy with that. Big takeaway is look for those little opportunities, those pins, and towards the end game, get your king out there, and he has to work, stay on top of your pawns as you promote. I hope you liked this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate you watching. Have a great day.